So around 8 months ago I had made this video asking if I should make this multiple flip reset tutorial, and most of you said yes, but it's been 8 months and I didn't make it, and I recently got reminded in the comments that this was a thing and I probably should make it, so yeah, here it is. Hope you guys learn it a lot quicker than I did and skip all the mistakes and everything. So yeah, anyway, let's just get right into it. The first thing you'll need to know how to do is to stall. And to stall, you'll need to bind arrow left or arrow right to a key on your keyboard or your controller that is quite easy to access, that won't get in the way of any other mechanics you might try and do. Okay, so now we found a nice key binding for your arrow left or right, we can now learn to stall. I predominantly use arrow left to do any of my stalls, so just remember, if you do choose to do arrow right, it will be mirrored to whatever I'm doing. To stall, you'll need to use 3 things: your arrow left or right button, your jump button, and your directional button. Once you're in the air and still have your jump, you want to press arrow left in my case, and then steer to the right, and then jump. So that's arrow left, steer to the right, and then jump. If you choose to use arrow right, you're going to want to do the opposite. Arrow to the right, steer to the left, and then jump. Now this is a really fast motion and can be really hard to get the hang of, but if you follow the order of button presses that I've told you and hire your dead zone at the same time, these stalls will become a lot easier. And then gradually after time you can lower the dead zone so you can play competitively. If you've been following the instructions so far, your stall will look something like this. Now, to make your car still, you have to arrow in the opposite direction to which you've been arrowing, and steer in the opposite direction to which you've been steering. So for me, because I use arrow left to stall, all I would have to do is I'd have to arrow to the right, and I'd have to steer to the left. So there are some common errors that I would have and I'd fall prey to when doing stalls. So hopefully if you guys have some of these problems, we can fix them pretty quickly for you. So when doing stalls, sometimes I would front flip. And the reason for this is because when you're doing the steering part of your stall, it has to be perfectly horizontal or you're not going to get the stall. So if you get it too high, you might front flip. If you get it too low, you might back flip. So try adjusting whichever way you're doing it. So if you're doing a backflip, try aiming a bit higher to get the horizontal, and if you're doing a front flip, try aiming a bit lower. Now if you're side flipping, maybe you're not air rolling for long enough and you're doing a side flip based on the steering. Now the opposite can be true, maybe you're air rolling too much and not doing enough steering to the side, and you might do a side flip. So try and figure that out, what you're doing wrong, and try and rectify it in your game. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at a training pack that we made 8 months ago. So I'm going to put in the description and on the screen the training pack code, and you guys can try it out for yourselves. So with this, we're going to try and get a shot that we can analyze and just go through completely and show you everything that I do on these flip reset shots. So the first one didn't go so well, but you know, it took me a few more shots to get a good one that was good enough to analyze basically, and yeah, that's what we did. And yeah, got a nice power shot into the top corner, and yeah, let's get into analysing it. We'll look at the replay first of all, just to show you exactly what was going on, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So, you want to get the ball rolling towards the wall fast. Now the reason for this is because the faster you get it rolling up the wall, the closer it'll be to the ceiling when you hit it off it, and the closer is the ceiling, the more resets you can get in. Now you also want to hit the ball directly under the ball and after the curve. Now the reason why you want to hit it after the curve is because if you hit it on the curve, the ball will fly up the wall really fast and it will stick to the wall, and it's going to be really hard to get the ball off the wall. Now I try to hit directly under the ball to maximize the height the ball will reach, as well as the direction towards goal. This will not only allow me to get more resets in, but will also allow me to get more power on the eventual shot. As I land on the ceiling, you can see that I'm aligning my car with the path of the ball. So I'm trying to make sure that my car's momentum is in the same line as the ball's momentum, which means once I get my touch, I can be able to follow the ball with ease. As I go for the stall, you'll notice that I dip my car down. The reason for this is I'm using my car like a paddle. So as the back hits the back of the ball, the front scoops up and maintains the height on the ball. So if we look at it again on the replay, you'll clearly see that the ball actually gains height from this stall. I go under it, the front pops it up and hits it, and I can follow it with ease. Alright, so I hope that helped you guys in understanding how to do resets and stuff. Yeah, it's mainly the stalls and the positioning, setting yourself up, the momentum, maintaining your momentum, making sure you hit the ball as close to the ceiling as possible. Sometimes you're just not going to get a good hit because you've set it up wrong initially. The initial setup is literally the most important thing, just rolling it up to the wall, because if you don't get that right, the hit to the ceiling is going to be wrong, then you're not going to be able to follow it right, and then you're not going to be able to get the reset correctly. So literally, the most important thing is rolling up the wall in the correct place. So even just practicing that over and over again until you can just get that consistently down. Then you go on to hitting it up to the ceiling as high as possible, getting that down, then following the ball up to the ceiling in the same line as the momentum of the ball, and then using the techniques like the paddle technique I talked about, levering the ball up and stuff. And yeah, you should be pretty good to go. Yeah, the reason I wanted to sort of talk about ceiling more than off the wall, because you know, like Gainer and them lot do it off the wall. The reason I wanted a ceiling is because I think it's in a competitive setting, it's more appropriate. You know, it's quicker. I think you can get your shots off quicker, and you know, the resets and stuff. Whereas you know, when you're going off the wall on a reset, it just seems that it's a bit slow. It seems like you have to get the first one, then you have to go to the second one. I don't know, it just seems like you have to set it up. I mean, the fact that you have to break on the wall before you even go for the ball just seems a bit slow to me. Whereas on the ceiling, you literally don't have to break. You may slow down a bit on the ceiling just to wait for the ball to come to you a little bit, maybe, if that's something. But other than that, you really fast. It's a lot faster in my opinion. So that's why I prefer the ceiling. But yeah, I think you can get more resets if you do it from the wall, because I think the ceiling you're dropping a little bit too fast. Obviously, really good players can maintain that. Probably get an air dribble off it. Oh, and this is the a double I nearly had in game. I've nearly had in game. So if I got that, I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy. But yeah, what you gonna do? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.